Hello, goblins! It's Chris, Eldritch Pipes. It's an episode of this week's Pipes. I'm smoking Carolina Red Flake by Cornell and Deal, which I've been smoking a fair bit of late. Which leads me to my little tobacco story. I've been smoking all kinds of funny things this week. I was smoking a cigar. I think it was a P. Upman, given to me by Chris. I'm sure it must be at least like 6 months ago, 9 months ago now. The first one I smoked from him, I really enjoyed the first half of the cigar. But then the second half, not so much. It got a bit bitter for me. And so we had a chat about it and decided that I'd almost certainly smoked it too quickly. So with this other one, he was a fat guy, I decided to smoke it while making a pipe. And I left it on the table so I'd have a puff, go over, do some work, come back to it, have another puff. And actually, that seemed to be a really good way to do it. I really enjoyed that cigar. The other half did not so much enjoy me smelling of cigars. There we go. On my other little tobacco adventure was Tim Waters, known on here as the Hermit Piper, I think, was selling off some tobacco. I don't know for what reason. But anyway, in amongst his stash were a couple of tins of Carolina Red Flake with Perique, the version with Perique, very important. So I snagged a couple of tins of those, which made me very happy because I put a dent in the one tin that I've got. Because it's such a wonderful tobacco. It's very simple tobacco, you know. I think it's like Red Virginias and Perique, and as far as I know, that's it. I'd have to look at the tin now to see if I'm wrong on that aspect, but rather than one of these sort of like monolithic, complex things, it's the simplicity about this one I think that's so attractive. I just like it. And the cut was broken flake. I mean, just love it. Alright. Oh, I was going to mention another thing. I was thinking about pipe making, as I want to do. And a couple of weeks ago, I had all the pipe makers round and we were talking about our various ways of working. And you can believe us, we all do it differently, which is probably no surprise. But we're talking about the balance of where we do our most sales versus, so commissions or selling direct versus selling through shops, through online shops these days mainly. Smokingpipes.com and GQ over here and that kind of thing. And I think all the others, well, so obviously Mike, that's Blake Marbriers, does a lot of both. You'll see Blake Marbriers in shops all over the place. He also sells a lot direct. Ian of Northern Briars, you'll see his pipes everywhere, and he also sells a lot direct. I think he does take on commission work, as Mike does, but mainly they sell what they make. They make first, and they sell what they make. And then Chris is sort of in between. He'll do commissions here and there, but doesn't take like a long list. He says he finds like commissions, the pressure of commissions can sort of get on top of him. He prefers to sort of like make up a box of pipes, sell them to smokingpipes.com. They sell them, and it's like all good. And I am unlike that. I do most of my work is commissioned and selling direct. Selling direct meaning I make the pipe that I want to make and then someone buying it, with a commission being someone asking for something they want. And I actually like to have a commission. Unlike Chris, I like to have one commission in the week. I've found in times when if I don't have a commission, my week sort of feels unstructured, it's like, oh, I can make any pipe that I want to make, and that kind of like blank page gives me like a version of writer's block. If I've got at least one commission to make, I sort of like can work in my pipes around that, and it kind of gives me a flow. I don't know how to put that into better words, but you see what I mean. Right, on to this week's pipes. Let's read. So last week I said, what suggestions have you got? And I put forward, my want was a shroom, and said, let's see what you guys make of it. So here's some of them. Jan Hansen said, for a special request, my vote goes to an enraged cavalier, something with a bit of wrath and ruin about it. That's a very interesting suggestion. I have never yet made an actual cavalier, so that is going on my to-do list for sure. I'll have to have a think about that. I'm not sure what an enraged cavalier is, but I think I know what you're getting at. A cavalier with some attitude. Kane said, for special pipe ideas, a brandy would be his choice. However, you did say the one I like best is the one I'll give a shot. So possibly a diamond shot glass bowl, continuing the whiskey glass theme. And there are other interesting whiskey glass shapes out there. Not something I'd thought of. I will give it some thought. I'll have a look. See what I think can be turned into a pipe. Shad Turner said he'd love to see me try my hand at making a kind of Lord of the Ring type church warden. I've made some long pipes. I've made what I called a demi-warden. I think it was like 9 inches long, that fellow. I think a true church warden is about 12. Yes, it's a good idea. Making stems that long is darned tricky. But I'll give it some thought. Again, it will go on my to-do list as need to make an Eldritch church warden. Gabriel, now I don't know how to pronounce this, I'm going to have a stab at it. It's either Pulid or Pulides. Pulides. Can't quite figure out where that surname's from. It almost looks French to me, but it, give it a different accent, it could almost be from anywhere. But anyway, he said, could you do a video, this is off topic, of how you pack your pipe, how dry it is, etc. I noticed in all your videos you have crazy smoke production. It helps I have exquisite pipes too. You'd be underwhelmed at how I pack my pipe. But I gravitate to tobaccos that produce smoke because I like to. I like that I was going to say aesthetic, but I like to blow smoke. If you know what I mean. I don't like if it's just a lot of hot air, I feel like I'm not doing anything. Do you know what I mean? You get that on some straight Virginias. The smoke is so thin that it almost feels like you're not smoking. I don't like that. Joseph M. Colombo. I second the shroom. Ideally, I should be on some when I shape it. Oh, and then as far as tobacco reviews goes, what about Peretti's new ampersand? I've not tried it. I would like to. I haven't made a tobacco wad from the States in a yonk. I'll have to rectify that. CJ 12 String says, how about a chrysalis in metamorphosis? I think you might have my Zulu chrysalis in mind there. In the back of my mind, I have had an idea to revisit something like that. I haven't had an idea strike me for it just yet, but yeah, it's something to go back to. Northwoods Piper says, how about a corrupted Prince in 9mm for me? Now, I tend to like my Princes with a slender shank, and a 9mm would seriously mess with that. But I suppose I could do a kind of chunky Prince, or a Prince on a larger scale than I ordinarily do it, so who knows. I'll have a look. It might need a little design tweaking because I drill my Princes in a not straightforward way. Otherwise, you don't get enough wood at the bottom of the bowl with a thin shank. But we'll see, with a larger shank, then it wouldn't be such a problem. All right, I'll have a look at it. And then Radu Cyprian, that's how I want to say that name. It could be Cyprian or even Cyprian, CI, depending on where in the world you are. And it says an Ent Treebeard, Lord of the Rings inspired pipe. I would do something like that, but Brian Orton has really cornered the kind of tree bark sort of look. So I'd have to think about how I could do something like that without sort of stepping into his territory, if you know what I mean. But I like the idea. I've not done a tree bark style. I think the closest I've come to that kind of thing is the Mandragora route. But yeah, okay. I'll keep that on the back burner as well. So, what did I do? That was all from last week, so obviously I took that in and then thought about it. Well, I didn't actually finish the special pipe. I'll show you what I did do. So I'll show you the pipe. This was the last pipe of a 3-pipe commission. And it wasn't ready last week, so I couldn't show it to you. But I finished it now. I said it was a special one. It is. It is. I'm going to put this down now. It is. It's not in a bag, so I'm just going to have to go just have to surprise you with it. It is an iridescent snail. Currently in a natural finish. But really pleased with the shell on this fellow. Obviously, this is one of the kind of the alchemist style pipes. This is resin bonded onto briar. With a iridescent resin stem, obs, crazy indented rim. The skirt of the snail, which is a lot of fun to do. I don't know if it looks fun, but it actually is a lot of fun to do. I enjoy making the snail quite a lot. Whole bunch of plateau underneath. That's not finished. That's the last bit to finish on this pipe. And then resin on the other side. If you heard me talking about this previously, this is a reverse calabash. That there is a chamber in there. It's about so deep, so wide, and it's a conical chamber. It kind of has to be for this shape. I don't know if you can tell, but the walls of this bowl taper inwards, and it goes relatively slender down at the bottom, so it needs a conical chamber to avoid any unhappy accidents carving. So there you go. That was the last of the 3 pipe commission pieces. And happily, I try to do this when I can. It's a sitter. Sometimes that works out, sometimes it doesn't. They're not all sitters. I try and make them sitters if I can. But like I say, it doesn't always work out. Something else that didn't work out this week. This is an unfinished pipe, but I haven't even finished shaping it. This was meant to be a version of a pipe that I made many years ago called a corrupted egg. But the briar turned out to be really good. So I'm really reluctant to actually corrupt it, and I think I'm going to have to make the corrupted egg again, and this will be a smooth egg. But I guess I'll do that next week. You'll see what happens to that next week. And so the special pipe I haven't finished either, because all these pipes are, well, the snail and this pipe are rather time-consuming pieces. But I'll show you where I am with this one and what I decided to go with. I decided to go with the shroom, and especially wild one. Obviously it had this plateau that kind of like did this and then down here, and for ages I wanted to do one where the front lip of the bowl came down past the stem. Rather tricky drilling, trying to get through there, especially as I'd left a bit hanging over this side as well, because when I started I wasn't sure which way I wanted to go. So I left them both on. But in the end, I've gone for this kind of cross style. So it goes from one diagonal, so it's a diagonal from one corner crossing to the other. I'm still carving this one. Lots to do on there. He will probably be done next week and probably available next week as well. So well, I suppose all the shrooms are a bit crazy. That's part of their nature. I assure you I wasn't smoking anything while I was making that one, other than tobacco. Alright. Okay, so that's it for this week. Wow, I've prattled on for 20 minutes. Who could have thought it? Okay, that's it for this week. I'll be back next week, as far as I know, for this week's pipes. Till then, take it very easy, your loyal pipe maker.